Well, it's time to start working on our next project. For this next project, we're going to start off by going back to our cards project, the deck of cards, and I want to point out something in that project that might have been kind of awkward. So something that could have been a little bit challenging down the road if we had decided to keep on expanding on that project. Once we talk about what that issue was and we understand how it could have been a little problem, we'll then talk about a new feature in Go that will kind of help us address that problem. And then we'll start working on a little program to kind of explore that feature a little bit more. So let's start off by talking about what could have been awkward about that cards project. Okay, so in the cards project, you will recall that we were working with a slice of strings, and each string was meant to represent one single playing card. So we had a card of something like ace of spades, or two of spades, or three of spades. Now in that project, we never really had to ask any particular card what its suit or what its value was. But I'm sure you could very easily imagine that if we wanted to expand that project and start putting together something like, say, a poker game or a blackjack game or Go Fish or something like that, at some point in time, we would really want to be able to look at a card and very easily ask the question, what is the suit of this card and what is the value of that card? So the reason that would have been so challenging with the way that we had laid everything out was to figure out what suit or value any given card was, we would have had to do a little bit of string manipulation. So we would have had to take the string, split it by the word of, and then kind of pull out the value and the suit out of that. And so, hey, that's not impossible. It's not outside the realm of possibility. But I think that would have been really awkward to put together a program in that fashion and to say that forever, yeah, a card is a string. And so in this section, we're going to start looking at a different data structure in Go that we could have used to represent one individual playing card. So we'll start off by talking about what that data structure is, how it works, and then we'll start working on a little project to explore how this new data structure works. So the data structure we're going to be talking about is a struct. Struct. And so I said structs in here, really singular struct. Struct is short for structure. It is a data structure in Go, and you can think of it as being like a collection of different properties that are somehow related together or have some type of common purpose. And so if we think back to the example of a card here, we could have created a data structure struct of type card and then assigned two different properties to that struct. So we could have said that a struct of type card might have a suit, which is supposed to be a string, and might have a value, which is also supposed to be a string. And then as an actual implementation or as an instance, as a value of type card, we might have a suit of spades and a value of ace. Now I'm going to tell you right now that as soon as we start looking at structs, if you have a background in JavaScript, you can think of a struct as being like a plain object. And if you have a background in Ruby, think of a struct as being similar to a hash. And if you have a background in Python, think of it as being a little bit like a dictionary. Now that's not really a precise, perfect definition of what a struct is. I'm just saying that right now at a very high level, you can kind of think of a struct as being like those types of data structures. Okay, so I think that the best way to figure out exactly how structs work is to work on a little sample project around it. And so this project is not going to be a fully featured app with a purpose. Instead, we're going to kind of write out a little bit of struct code and then just get a better sense of how they work and what we can use them for. So let's get started on that project right now by creating a new project directory and creating a new main.go file. So I'm going to change on over to my code editor. I'm going to go to File, we'll open a new folder. So I'm going to make a new folder and I'm going to call it simply Structs. We'll open up this folder. And then inside the new folder, I'm going to make a new file called main.go. Okay, so let's take a quick break. We're going to come back in the next section and we're going to start working on a couple examples of getting a better sense of exactly what a struct is. So quick break and I'll see you in just a minute.